this ain't the interview, right? So is this a different pod then?
Welcome to Talks About It with Franjez.
Talks about it. Right.
Talks about it.
Okay. Yes, indeed.
So the title of the episode will be Ronnie Notes Talks About It with Franjez.
Got you. That's fire.
Welcome.
Yes, indeed. I remember that from the other one. Now I think about it.
Yeah. I'm trying to separate them. Bit. Even though
it's
exactly the same.
It is what it is. It's a different format. It's a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
Let me turn this phone down. Yeah, bro.
So you want to talk about podcasts real quick, like yours, and how you want to, like how we were just talking about it.
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
We can do that.
All right, so I'm using GarageBand.
Right.
I use the Focusrite Scarlett one eye to eye.
Okay.
Supposedly is the best one you could get.
Okay.
They have one with one port. They have one with two ports. Two microphones, two cables. You see me, one camera.
Yeah.
GarageBand on the Apple computer, and it works just perfectly.
Okay.
And that's literally it. I keep the laptop plugged in the wall, so that way I don't have to worry about the power going.
Okay.
The laptop powers this, so you don't even need
power for that.
Exactly.
Because it's coming from the laptop.
It's coming from the laptop.
That's USB into the laptop, right?
USB into the laptop.
Okay. That's sweet. I like that.
So the audio is that.
And you satisfied with the audio?
I love it.
You love the audio,
and especially because I which I've done already. I just took the audio and started matching it with the video.
Right.
And then I realized I was too loud.
Right.
So I was like, damn.
I look like your level looks a little loud right now. Now that I think about it. Now that you mentioned that, it's a little bit loud. Can you turn mine up a little bit? Maybe. That should be good, I think.
That's always my problem with my audio. I'm always too loud. So the good thing about this way is I could pause the video editing,
right?
Come back to the audio, adjust my levels,
right?
And then export it, put it right back, and it's gonna fall right back in the same spot.
Got you.
It's already.
Got you. Okay.
So yeah.
And this is better than the setup that you had that we did on the last one, or you like the other one more? This is good for now.
The other one is actually the best.
The best thing.
The Rodecaster,
right?
The Rodecaster is perfect. I don't know if anybody is into podcasting.
I'm pretty sure
the Rodecaster, you just plug the mics in, check the audio levels. When you press record, it's recording to the SD. It's creating a file. Or you can set it to record 4 different files for each mic, or 2 files for 2 mics.
So in other words, the video that gets recorded, so is it getting one audio for all mics if you want? And is that tied to the video?
No. It's a whole different thing. But the beauty is you don't even need a computer. All you need is that device.
The Rodecaster does everything.
The SD card is where it all gets recorded.
That's the memory. That's like the memory stick.
You take that SD card, you put it in your computer. Now you have that audio.
Right.
You have the choice of separating the audios or having one audio.
Got you.
It's a really smart machine.
Got you.
Even has pads for like sound effects.
Right. Yeah,
it has a lot. You could connect your phone to it. The way you were saying, where you record with the phone and have the audio, you could connect the phone to it. So it's recording to the machine from your phone.
Video, or you talk about the audio?
Both.
Video.
Well, the audio for the video.
The audio for the video. Right. Got you. Okay.
The game runs deep.
Those is like 500, right? 500,
more like $7.99 or $8.99. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like when I was purchasing the Scarlett right here, I was thinking that, like, should I really invest all this money in the Rodecaster?
Right.
But it just didn't make sense because I have a laptop, a tablet, a computer.
Right.
I have options. This is the OG way. I'm just doing it the OG
way.
And it works great.
You see the laptop is coming up on the video, right? That little corner.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, we're really raw out here.
Yeah. Hey, yo. Not that raw. Word. That's what's up, though, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man, what's up? What's holding you back? Let's do it.
You know what it is, man? I'm just being too critical of myself, man. You know,
you have everything you need.
I do.
That program that you said you have is perfect because you don't need to do much editing.
Right.
It's just chopping it up.
Yeah.
So you got what you need.
I do have what I need, man. I'm being critical about, a few different things. One of the things I'm being most critical about is like the actual content and like what direction to go in for the content. You know what I'm saying? Like what should I be talking about? Should I have a certain theme behind it? Should it be like should it be a general thing? Because I also did a little research and seen that like the more general you are, the harder the algorithm it is for the algorithm to like identify where to place you in all the different, whatever the platform is that you're posting to. So like if you're super general, it might take super long for the algorithm to figure out exactly where to place you in other people's, timeline or whatever.
That's me. Mine is so reckless. It's like, but until I figure it out, I'm just gonna keep pumping out.
But like I like
this channel started. Who knows what this started with? Short films.
Okay.
Skits and short films.
Right.
I was doing some with my boy Jonathan Ward, and then my daughter too. Me and my daughter were doing little skits. That's how it started. Really, this channel.
Right.
I had another channel prior that was about cars. That one got many views and all that, but not monetized. I didn't know about monetization back then. I used a lot of copyright music. So that whole channel's like it did well too.
But why don't you transition it and like redo that channel?
I think it's over when you violate so much.
No, what I'm saying is like if you had a good niche with the cars and shit, you can redo a whole new channel, start from scratch. But now you already have the blueprint. You have a model for it already. You feel me? I mean, like
that channel might have a head start
if it was picking up. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's certain niches. Like we talked about this earlier with the food. Like, if you're reviewing food and the whole culinary world is just, like once they see that you consistent in putting out a lot of content, like they jump on your shit quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, food is worldwide.
Yeah,
you don't even need to know the language.
Cars, sneakers, anything like that you into that has a culture behind it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I don't really have that. Like right now, I'm just still kind of general. I'm kind of thinking about going into that whole like man-woman relationship things. I feel like I have like a little bit of a niche there.
Jump in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like what you said, I got to just start doing it.
Speaking of man-woman relationship.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, man.
We were just at Applebee's up the block.
Yeah, we went and got a little lunch. Yes.
Man. We met this Dominican guy named Manny.
Hey, Manny. Shout out to Manny.
Manny
had a lot to say at the bar.
Let's start off with Manny.
Uh-huh.
In general, before I even get to the list about Manny.
Okay.
You pointed out how my man was ear hustling us, conversing
having a little conversation
at the bar
for a while. Right.
And then he just butted into the conversation.
He did.
And made the whole conversation about him.
Right.
Talk about that, man.
Yeah, man. Like I noticed this sometimes. Like certain people, you can meet a stranger on the street. I'm pretty sure people out there, I'm pretty sure you've dealt with this, and people out there have dealt with this too, where like you can be somewhere just kind of kicking it and having your own moment, whether you're with a friend, whether you're by yourself, and somebody interjects themselves into the conversation or into your world and starts having a conversation with you, but it's not really a conversation. They just are talking at you for the next 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever. Like, and that's pretty much what he did. Like, we're sitting here trying to scope out the, ideas on how we can collaborate on some stuff. And we're throwing out ideas for a podcast, and we're throwing out ideas for other business ventures and stuff like that. And he's listening to all of this. And then he decides that he needs to join into the conversation because we two cool ass brothers that's like, obviously doing some cool shit. And like his contribution is more like a lecture. It ain't even a contribution. Like he doesn't even it's not even like a moment for us to get words in and talk about stuff and like build with him on it. He just is like basically just lecturing us on a bunch of things. Not even like in a bad way. He had positive energy, but like just dominated the whole conversation. It's like, what are you doing? Have some kind of ethic.
He went to the bar to vent.
And he vented on us.
The whole conversation was about him, his kids, his wife.
Yeah.
And let's get to the first thing this guy Manny said. 47 years old, Dominican. Drinking. Remember what he said he was drinking?
Was it rum?
Nah.
It wasn't rum?
Gin.
It was
straight.
Gin. Oh, yeah, he an OG. He a real OG. He drinking gin. That shit's from Scarface
That's
days.
sick.
That's what Scarface was drinking in the movie, man. They was drinking gin the whole time. That's 1980 shit.
That's a sick bastard.
Yeah.
Straight gin with a beer.
Gin with a beer.
Already sick bastard. 47-year-old.
Yeah.
Says he has a lot of kids. We asked him how many.
He didn't even want to say.
He said,
He didn't even want to say. Yeah.
He sold drugs as a kid and bought his mother a house that costed $40,000 in the South Bronx in the 90s.
You got that wrong. I think that he said he bought a 3-family and his 3-family was $900,000. The one that he bought himself was $40,000 in the South Bronx.
No, he bought his mom.
The one he bought
in the 90s
he bought two different ones.
$40,000.
No. I don't think so, bro.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
So I did remember hearing him saying 200s or whatever.
He said
900. Yeah,
$900,000 one because he said he bought a 3-family house for his mom.
Yeah.
At 17, and that was $900,000.
Which
one
doesn't really add up.
That doesn't add up at all. $900,000 back then.
40,000. That one made sense.
40,000. He said he bought from a drug dealer.
Yeah.
That had it.
Man,
y'all figure this out because this shit don't really. This ain't adding up. Hey, one he bought for $900,000, other one he bought for 40. Hey, listen, man.
He bought a 2-family house in the South Bronx.
This is what happens.
For $40,000 from a drug dealer.
This is what happens when you talk to strangers. How the drug dealer had the house selling it for 40 grand? Look, was it an abandoned crib and then nobody really owned it? Who knows?
Yo.
But he butted into our conversation and didn't let us say a word for like 15 minutes. And me and Franjez is looking at each other like, all right, whatever. Like, cause we just getting content at that point. You know what I'm saying? We just started listening and thinking like, oh, what's this dude talking about?
He was giving us topics.
Yeah. Good guy. I mean, at the end of the day, he was a good guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It was all positive vibes.
Yeah, it was a positive vibe, but he definitely
just suspicious.
There's just certain things I feel like with etiquette socially, like how you conduct yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't know people,
you don't steal the conversation.
You don't steal the whole conversation from two guys that are obviously having a conversation about business and like we was kicking it and like it wasn't all business, but like we was really building on a lot of different things and like he heard everything because he was maybe 4 or 5 feet away from us by himself. And like, cool. You want to chop it up with us, cool, but like anybody out there listening, like if you might not even know you have this bad trait, but don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you got two brothers that obviously got some things to say that can contribute to the conversation. Don't dominate the whole convo, even if you're a little bit older. Like, we got things to say. We grown ass men.
The bartender said he was drunk.
Yeah, he ain't look that drunk to me.
No, he didn't.
He didn't look that drunk to me.
Not at all.
Yeah. And what
he actually got there after us and left before us.
Right.
How you feel about bartenders that don't hook you up?
Yo, I was just about to go there. Yo, I ain't gonna say your name, homie, but you should have took a couple of them drinks off the fucking tab, B. We ain't see each other in years. He showed me all the love when we walk in. Yo, how your mom's doing, how your brother doing, all this
family.
Mad family. I'm thinking, we about to get all the way hooked up. My nigga, he ain't take nothing off that tab.
I was about to order extra shit because I thought we were gonna get love.
I thought we
got fries and a burger real quick.
And he threw a drink at me. He like forced a drink on me and then charged me for the drink. Yo, what's up with y'all out there, B? What give you? What's going on with the etiquette of the world today, B?
Money runs.
I ain't want that drink. He said it to me like 4 or 5 times. Oh, you ain't gonna have another one. You gonna have your man have it.
Come on.
Yeah, come on, B.
Oh, you changed.
Yeah,
you changed.
Yeah. You ain't that old. Come on, bro. All right, give me the drink, and then charge me for it.
Yo, that's hilarious.
What the fuck is that about? What is that about, bro?
Here's that drink. And
yeah. I tip your ass 15%, motherfucker. Word. I thought we was gonna get some love.
I honestly thought that too.
I didn't. You know what's funny? I only expected that we was gonna get love. I didn't expect nothing less.
Yeah.
Because real shit. That was one of my homies from back in the day. Like you managing the spot now. Like I thought and I'm not even looking for the handout. We didn't go there thinking like we was gonna know anybody there. Shorty was cute though. The one that was there before him.
Claire, what was her name?
Yeah, I ain't want to blow it up like that. But yeah, Claire.
I could bleep it out.
Claire. And yeah. She was a cutie. A little weird looking, but a cutie though.
Yeah.
In a good way. Yeah.
I didn't like that you could tell she shaves her face.
I ain't even noticed that, bro. I barely looked at her. I got a little glance.
It's a big turn off when
she shaves her face, like her mustache and all that.
She ain't everything. You could tell.
Nah,
it's a big turn off.
I ain't even peeped that. Was it? Oh wow.
Yeah.
I ain't see. I like I'm in a space right now where I'm trying to just be easy and be chill. Like I got enough going on already. You feel me? So I'm trying to chill. So like when I get any of that like attention in my face, I just try to like not really pay attention to it too much. So I ain't see the 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, it's,
you know what I'm saying. I ain't notice it.
But nauseating.
Shout out to her. She was cool though.
Yeah,
she was cool.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have gave us a discount either.
Of course not.
Nah.
Of course not.
Nah.
But your homie?
My homie fucked that up. He fucked that whole shit up. I really thought we was gonna get love on that. So shout out to you, my so-called homie that I ain't see in mad years. You gonna see this because he's on my gram.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. What's up with the drinks, bro? Yeah, but that was cool. We still had a good convo though.
Couple wings. Yeah, it was good catching up.
Good catching up. We had a good convo. Talked about some future things we might try to work on and shit. So that's dope.
Definitely. Let's get back to Manny.
We get back to Manny. 25 years married.
I was just about to say.
Yeah.
He said he met his wife as she was a happy person by herself.
Mm-hmm.
He knew to this day he can't make his wife happy. He accepts that because she makes herself happy or something like that.
Yeah.
She is happier on her own. He doesn't have to make her happy. He is also happy. And it kind of made sense where there's a lot of people that are not happy. They're always looking for something. They're looking for acceptance. They're looking for attention. Something's always missing. Some people just ain't thinking right.
Mm-hmm.
So to meet somebody that's actually happy, that's actually a great and rare trait, right?
Yeah. I would say that it's damn nearly impossible to meet anybody that's happy like that. I mean, I think that happiness is a fleeting moment. Like I don't think that happiness
I think
is...
it's a mindset. Like, for example, stoicism?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those people are happy. I'm practicing. I'm trying to be all stoic and all that.
Okay, now let me ask you this question then. On a conscious level, do you think that the Stoics, and I mean answer this truthfully, you think the Stoics is sitting back thinking to themselves, like how will I maintain my happiness? How will I have happiness? You think that that's what their mindset is?
No, not at all.
Okay. So what is their mindset to get to that space?
Nothing's wrong.
Right.
That's the mindset. Everything's okay.
Right. And so
to me, that's happiness.
So my point that I'm making is that I think that like the new age, and I went through a hard time like post COVID with like a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? I went through a real heavy depression state that I had for a while. Right.
You were living alone.
Basically,
that's
basically like so.
That's what the pandemic was doing.
You're right. So, and so for a long, and this is something that like a newfound thing that I got, right? Like something that I kind of like got to on my own is that when today's age, we always thinking about like happiness. How can we be happy? Like what, like, oh, I don't want to do that job because it's not going to make me happy, or I don't want to be with this person because they're not going to make me happy and all this and that. And I think that happiness is a fleeting moment. And what I mean by that is that I think the most that we can get that we should be satisfied with is just being content with life, right? And that's kind of what you're saying. It's like you let go of this idea or this perception of like, I need to be happy because, we tie so much with certain words, and happy has so much tied to it. It's like we're supposed to be what? Giddy and childlike, and that's happiness. Like that's not reality. Like who is always going to be like that? It's not going to be. So in other words, like really recently I had an epiphany, and the epiphany was like, it's not so much about trying to be happy. Don't be happy anymore. The more you try to chase happiness, the more depressed it's making you feel. Let go of that. The happiness concept is a new concept. We wasn't thinking about that for thousands of years. And in the last 10 years, it became popular. And I think that's when depression has gone up, if anything. So like, if you can just let go of the idea of happiness and just realize that like, as long as I'm content with what's happening in my life, I'm moving forward and things, and, I have goals that I've set for myself. I'm trying to achieve those goals, whatever they might be. I have hobbies. I have a circle of friends. I'm going out. I'm seeing my family. All these different things that like can make your life complete. You separate this idea of happiness, and you can then become what you feel like happiness should feel like. Not necessarily like the name of happiness, but like the actual feeling of it. You know what I'm saying? And that shit has helped me so much.
It's like
in recent time.
It's like the media, your friends, social media,
right,
family, expectations. You feel like that's what happiness is.
Right.
Having a family in front of a tree on Christmas time, that's what happiness is. I got to post that and show that. That's what happens. These things are not happiness. This is like created shit that's put in our brains.
100%.
And another part of happiness is People want to be comfortable as possible. People want to eat the most delicious things always. I have to have that sugary coffee every morning. I have to have a steak. I have to have McDonald's. I have to have the delicious stuff. The candy. I need a brownie every day after dinner. I need a slice of cake. It's like all these things are just to make us happy. It's all short-term happiness.
Gratification. Instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
Little dopamine spikes.
We're in the microwave generation where everything has to happen in 2 seconds, right? And I think it happens, it's like an exponential thing, right? Because we have social media where everybody's only posting their highlight reel. We all know that. Everybody only posts the best parts of their day or the best parts of what happened for them that week or the best.
Whoever posts themselves doing dishes?
Nobody. Taking out the trash. Nobody does that, right? So you would think that nobody in the world ever does it.
Nobody does that. This person got a good life.
Yeah, exactly.
All they do is eat out.
So you get constant instant you get constant spikes of the highlight reel from everybody all the time. So when you go on your timeline, all you see is the highlight reel. So, of course you're gonna think, oh, I need to go to that restaurant that has the amazing plate, or I need to go to the restaurant that has the
view,
that diet, or not the diet, the what's that called? The dessert that looks, amazing, or the view. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I can, post that on Instagram.
Or the Instagrammable wall.
Right. They all have them now. They all have a little grass wall with flowers on it,
grass,
or
flowers,
whatever.
and LED.
Yeah, LED lights that says a cool quote or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Life is what you make it.
Right, and then you have everybody dressed in their best with their makeup on and filters and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's wild, man. It's wild, though. And so seeing that all the time puts us in these depressive states, because if you're not living that in the moment, I'm not happy right now.
I'm not happy
because I'm not living that in this moment. But that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that ties into relationships too. It's like, the biggest parts of relationships is, what are we gonna eat for dinner tonight? You know what I'm saying? Or like, taking out the trash, like you said, or like, getting the kids to school, or us getting ourselves ready for work in the morning or whatever, right? But what do we see in relationships most of the time? We see, the vacation. We see the shopping spree. We see we see the Louis Vuitton boxes or whatever.
The
you know
holidays.
What I'm saying? The holidays. We see all of that stuff. So like when you having the mundane moments that really create the relationship, right? That's 95% of relationship is the mundane moments.
100%.
So like when you having those mundane 95% moments, you thinking to yourself like, this ain't really the relationship that I see on the gram. This ain't what everybody else is doing.
That's not what I expected.
This is not what I expected. It's supposed to be better than this.
Yeah, I recently read something that was something like a woman wants the guy that's the bravado, the brave, the popular, the rich, the blah, blah, blah. But then when she gets him, she wants him to be...
She wants to bring him down.
Yeah. Now you can't be that no more because other women are going to want you.
No, other women want you. Women hate competition. Women do not want competition.
In the beginning, that's the guy I want.
They want.
But now I have you can't do it.
You can't be him anymore. And here's the thing.
You can't be yourself.
And here's the thing. And fellas, if this ever happen, if you ever find yourself subjected to this kind of situation where you was the man and now you get with your woman and you in love with her, so you want to make her happy, so you try to appease when she wants you to have to let go of your six pack and get the dad bod, when she wants you to not go out no more, wants you to not be fly anymore. If you actually do those things, she's going to start to like you less because of it. So she wants you to not be as admirable to other women. She wants other women to not want you as much anymore. She got you. Now she wants to tame you down. But if you go in that direction with her, chances are she's going to start to lose interest in you slowly. You have to maintain that bravado guy, that swag that you had when you got into the relationship. It's the best thing for you to do. Even if she wants you to dumb it down, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to keep your lady, you got to keep that going. You got to keep that flyness going. So yeah, women do that because they don't want the competition. They don't want to be threatened in what they have. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard out here.
It is.
Every woman wants a good man.
Yeah.
Like, damn. He's been with her for a while. He must be good.
Right. Yeah.
Must be a good man.
Yeah, there's a trending video where a guy says something like, "Yeah, I had to get a girl, man, because I had to get a girl so I can get other girls." You know what I'm saying? He's like, no girl wants a guy that don't got no girls.
You ain't shit if you don't got a girl.
You ain't got a girl. Like, this is crazy that this is how they feel and how they think. This is really how they like. If a girl sees a guy with no women around ever, they looking at him like, "Oh, something wrong with him. I don't want him. No girls want him." Subconsciously, they're not even really probably in tune with that on a conscious level. It's crazy, bro. Yeah, it's really crazy, man. Yeah.
So back to Manny.
He was a character.
Manny said, as soon as his kids move out,
that's it.
No more pacifier.
Yeah.
How you feel about that? Like if you were to have kids and have that household and you're the king and you say, when you leave, what happens?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any kids, so it's hard for me to talk on this one. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Because it's like, I'm big on, like, if you get advice from somebody, make sure that the advice they giving you is because they have the results you want. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't have the results of raising kids successfully.
But just your opinion, how you would go about things.
I think that makes sense.
What age you think is decent?
I think that makes sense. I think that for guys, if I had sons, I'd probably want them out the house in their early 20s, like before 25. I would want them out the house. And women, honestly, if I had it my way, any girls that I have, I'd want them to stay in the house till they get married. Real shit. So
traditional.
If they 40, 50 years old and still didn't get married yet, they still living with me. You feel me? I want them to go from my house to their husband's house. And that's just, I mean, that, like I said, like, I don't have any kids, so it's hard to talk, but that's the way I would want to do it.
Yeah, that's tradition right
there. That's traditional, because I feel like women, I'm not Christian, but this is in the Christian faith, is that women should stay covered by their father to their husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should stay covered with like some sort of security around you. You know what I'm saying? And like, your father is the security, for the daughter until she meets her husband. And then now your husband is now taking, that's why, like, the father gives away the daughter to the husband at the wedding. So I kind of feel like that's the right way to do things, you know what I'm saying, to protect our women. Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely tradition, and tradition is usually the right way.
Yeah.
The more civilized way.
Mate, but what do I know?
Civilized way.
What do I know, bro? I don't have no kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not there yet. Maybe one day.
That's all I had down about Manny. Anything else about Manny?
What Manny said to me that was like, come on, is that 25 years and he ain't never cheat once?
My man's Dominican.
That says, any y'all Dominican out there, y'all already know.
And he hustled the streets to make at least 40,000 to 900,000.
Somewhere in between there. I'm pretty sure he said
by the age of 17 and bought his mama a house.
Yeah, so like,
and now he's just a saint.
And that whole time he a saint?
Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't really add up.
Manny, you're suspicious.
You're suspect, man.
I'm the one that asked him, because he's talking about, it's happy, my wife is perfect, I love my life. I asked him straight up, have you cheated?
Yeah.
He paused for a second and looked at me.
And he
didn't break his face expression, but just no. His demeanor was different after that.
Yeah, it was a little bit different.
He didn't even finish his beer.
He left that shit. I mean, I'm not saying that like men don't cheat. I'm not saying that like men don't cheat. I'm not saying that like oh.
But he's a street cat.
And I'm not saying every man does cheat. I'm not saying either one of those things, right? I think that, but I do think the majority of men cheat.
Yeah, what do you think about women? Majority or minority?
Honestly, I think that the numbers are close to the same, to be honest with you. I think the numbers are close to the same.
Humans are humans.
Humans are humans. I think that, I mean, statistically, like, I think that men are like around 28% of men have actually confessed to cheating in marriages. And I think it's like 26% for women. So it's like a 2% difference. But like, come on, you think that everybody's actually going to say that they actually cheated in a survey? You know what I'm saying? So like, there's no way to get the
what percent of people lie?
The real numbers on that. I think that when it comes down to men in relationships and real like marriages, I think that probably 95% of them cheat. I would say anywhere between 90 and 95% of men cheat.
I think 100%. Well, actually, I feel 95% of married men want to cheat.
Want to cheat.
But to actually go through with it, I really don't even think it's 50%.
You know what it is too? You could that you
know
might
what I
be
mean?
right. You might be right. And you know what? You know what? So I hang out with certain kind of homies, certain kind of swag, certain kind of this and that. I'm not saying all my homies cheat because they don't. No, they don't. No. Real shit. I'm not even trying to just clean it up. They really don't. Like I know a couple of them that just don't cheat, but I know a few of them that do. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that a certain kind of dude, the more options you have, the more attention you get from women, the more swag you have, the more your mouthpiece is tight, where you know how to talk to ladies and stuff like that, and you have a certain level of decorum with them, the less likely you're going to go through 25 years of marriage and not have that one time in Colombia or that one time at the club, or, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's going to happen at some point. I think that when you're not that kind of guy, and it doesn't mean you're unattractive guy or that you don't have intelligence or whatever, but like if you're more of a low key, relaxed kind of guy, then it's most likely you're not gonna, be out there cheating. You just want to be home with your lady, and
that's most guys.
A lot of guys are like that.
That's why I feel like the majority of men don't actually go through it.
Right, which is
they
why,
would love to. That's their dream.
Right, which is why maybe that 28% number is not as off as I might think it is. Maybe it is around like 30-40% of men that cheat, and maybe like around the same thing with women. You know what I'm saying? I think women cheat. I think women honestly probably cheat more than guys. They just know how to hide it better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't see. There's a different dynamic when you're talking about like men cheating versus women cheating, right? Because as long as a man can get into the panties, he's down for almost any rule she throws at him. He's not gonna try to. So like let's say if let's just hypothetically put us in a dream world, right? And I'm trying to bag this chick that she's in a marriage. She's been married to her man for 10 years, and I'm dying to hit it. If she tells me, look, you can hit it, but it's gonna happen one time over here. You can't never say nothing. Boop de boop, all this and that. I'm gonna abide by everything because that's her rules.
With a checklist.
Whatever you need.
What time?
Whatever you need, babe. Now flip that on women, and a woman wants to smash a dude that's married. She might on purpose leave earrings in his car, on purpose leave the scrunchie in his car. She might on purpose call his phone when she knows that you know what I'm saying? Like women will play things. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying some of them will play things to the left just to get that one up. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. Whereas guys
why do you think? That's insane.
I think that
they like the thrill
because guys are more thirsty to actually score. They're more likely to play ball on whatever is needed.
No, I mean, why is the woman so spiteful like that to try to fuck up, try to fuck the guy up?
I think that because most of the time, a woman that smashes a dude, she really wants that guy.
So she's trying to.
So she's gonna do what she can to get a rift in between it, or if she don't really want him, she's getting back at the girl for something. So now she wants to cause some kind of drama in that relationship to a certain degree. And some of them are gonna be cool too and be sneaky and be on point with it. I'm just saying I think that women have a better chance of not having somebody that they having sex with play against them in that escapade that they have. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So like they guys will play along better than women will.
Let's talk about.
And women can do it just once and that's it and be good with it. I think guys are more thirsty where they gotta keep on. You know what I'm saying? And not as sneaky. Yeah, but I didn't believe that 25 years and never smashed nothing else.
Especially because he wasn't the swagger.
He wasn't the type.
He was a scumbag.
Yeah, he wasn't the type. He wasn't the type.
Talked with his hands.
What's that mean? I talk with my hands.
About now the way he did it was like he was juggling all day.
Yeah,
and he was like, "I'm Dominican." How many times did he say he's Dominican?
Yeah, he said Dominican
a good 20 to 25 times. This guy said, "I'm Dominican. I'm Dominican." Yeah. Bro, something's up with you. You're suspicious.
Yeah. What you got over there?
Is that the video?
This might be it, yeah.
So we were just talking about porn and masturbation.
This is
and the benefits of holding back.
Abstaining. Right.
Abstaining.
Yeah, from having the orgasm or something, you know?
You need to watch or you good?
No, I mean, I got the general thing of it.
So explain it then, because it's
You want me to
it's very
explain it?
difficult.
You want me to
yeah.
explain it?
That's why I wanted to play the video.
Yeah, we might have to play the video for me to explain it. Let's both watch it.
Yeah, but I don't want to just.
Oh, you have
fuck
that
it.
in.
Yeah, I can always cut it.
Yeah.
This substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your sacrum. It's also used with Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice.
Yeah, and the juice is called like
Whatever substance passes what's called the
claustrum.
where they got Santa Claus.
Right. So essentially, what he's saying here is that there's a fluid in your brain that goes down your spinal cord, and it happens once every month, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm close to it. It takes, I think, 3 days to go down, or something like that, or 3 days for the whole trip to go down and then come up, and then at a certain point when it comes back up, if you didn't ejaculate.
But only for men?
No, women have it too. It's the same
Okay.
thing. It's the same thing as when they have an orgasm, I believe.
All right.
Like they're releasing that into their whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't squander it, it goes back up. And when it goes back up, it sits. Or it sits for 2 or 3 days, like somewhere in your right at your cervical right here, like right at the back of your neck. It sits there. And this is like the death of Jesus, supposedly, like that. You know how he died in 3 days, he came back or whatever. And so it sits for 3 days without moving. And then after those 3 days is up, it moves on again back up into your brain. And it like kind of recycles itself. And that juice supposedly like hires your chi, hires your energy, hires your spiritual energy. And so that's why like there's a big push in a lot of the different religious denominations for you to like abstain and not always be having sexual gratification. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how real it is. I don't know like how, but I mean, you know, it seems pretty cool. I can tell you that. I was on it for a second. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was actually.
Anything?
I mean, I didn't do it enough times. So like, you supposed to do this. So
a month straight, pretty much.
No. So the way it works now, and this is where it gets kind of kooky to me. Like the text says that you're supposed to find out when I think the moon is in your zodiac sign.
I'm lost.
This is where it gets kooky to me. So like every zodiac sign has a phase of the moon. So like let's say if mine is between the let's just say the 21st and the 24th is when it's in my moon phase of Pisces, right? For that time I'm not supposed. That's when mine is going to be going down and then coming back up. That's when it makes a trip during that time. Is when the moon is in your. But like how does your body know that you're a Pisces? And you know what I'm saying? That's where it gets kind of kooky to me. But so you're supposed to do it for that, like let's say 3 to 4 days, 5 days max. And if you abstain for those 3 or 4 days every month, you're then replenishing that claustrum every single time. So what happens is if you do this for a year straight and make sure you never mess up that process, you're constantly recycling that fluid and it's building up your chi that much more every time. So you don't have to like abstain for the whole month, but you're supposed to abstain for those few days. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I tried it like 2 months and then I stopped. I forgot about it and I messed it up and I was like, oh man, you know, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like it could be legit, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I would like to see more real documentation, scientific paperwork on it. You know what I'm saying? Outside of just Jim Carrey. I mean, there's a lot of literature on it. I just haven't read everything, but I saw Jim Carrey do his thing, and I was like, all right, maybe. Yeah. You know.
So, porn.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's bad, and people say to not watch it because it creates false expectations when it comes to sex with regular people. Right. You're not having sex with porn stars, but you're expecting porn star sex because you embedded porn in your brain because you watch it too much.
Right.
Right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think that we're at
makes
a point.
A little sense.
I think we're at a point now where it's so saturated in the world that it's too much, man. Like you could be 9 years old and already know everything. You know, when I was young, you know, back in the prehistoric times, all we had was VHS, VCR. You know what I'm saying? And then like DVDs came around, so all you really had was like your uncle's VHS tapes or your DVDs from your cousin or something like that. And it wasn't plentiful. It wasn't everywhere. You know what I'm saying? The internet really wasn't a thing like that yet. And now we got, yo, bro, it's like most of the internet is porn.
Right on Instagram.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, on
Right on Twitter, literally
everywhere,
Twitter.
everywhere. Yeah.
Twitter's crazy.
Yeah, they have Twitter. Yeah, all kind of videos on Twitter. You know,
Twitter's no problem.
So I think that it is, you know, I think that it is.
It's misleading.
It's misleading, but it also like for the younger generation, because there's really no filters on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're 12 years old or 10 years old or 9 years old and you got access to Wi-Fi and any kind of smart device, you can see anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you growing up at that point? What's your perception of sex and sexuality and you know, relation to the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah, 100%.
So I think that it does say something that we should all try to abstain from it to a certain degree. But I also feel like back in the day when it wasn't so plentiful, I think that it was good to have a little bit of it just to kind of get an idea of certain things. Because, you know, parents don't really talk about sex like that with their kids and go through all that. So I think it had some kind of good value. But now it's just to a point where it's an industry and everybody just wants to make money on it. You know what I'm saying? You know, more power to y'all, but it's tough, man. I try to stay away from it as much as I can, to be honest with you. I don't even really have the urge to look. I'm not even going to lie. I did, you know, at one point, but now it's like, you know, what's the point of it, you know?
It's all the same shit.
It's all the same shit. And like the real thing is just so much better. You know what I'm saying?
My man.
The real thing is so much better. Like I get it if like you don't have, there's a lot of guys out there that can't get it. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta go to websites and all that, which is fucked up. But you know, I feel like it's better to just try to get yourself. There's no downside to being the best version of yourself.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying? So if you can really build yourself up enough, you can get the lady that you want. Or you can get an amazing lady that you didn't know you wanted. So I would say do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Keep working on yourself until you're the best version you could possibly create yourself to be.
And porn gets in the way of something like that, bro.
Definitely. It makes you lazy.
Makes you lazy.
And your expectations are too high.
Yeah.
Regular people's sex is not supposed to be like that.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah.
Aliens.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Have you ever seen any aliens?
Zero. I don't believe much, but I do believe there are other planets. So of course there's aliens, but I'm not sure about them visiting us.
Okay.
But I believe there's other, of course, life elsewhere.
So years ago, right? I was like maybe 12 years old. I was down in Florida. I was younger than that. I think I was 11. And we was walking home from the mall, back when the mall was a thing, going to the malls and shit. And down in Florida, like, it was a big thing. I don't know how it was up here when I was that age, but. So we was walking home from the mall, nighttime, and we looked up in the sky. It was a clear sky. We was in, like, this huge open field. It was like a church that had, like, a big parking lot and, like, a lot of land and everything. And we was walking through that. And it was in the city. We was in Fort Lauderdale. It wasn't like we was in, like, some backcountry road or something like that. And it was me and like 6 other kids or whatever, and we all looked up, and it was lights in the sky, like 60 lights, 50 lights in the sky. That wasn't stars. It wasn't stars. They was just up there. And I've seen something like this on like videos online and stuff like that since then. My only occurrence really with any kind of UFOs, what they was, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's no way for me to know what it was. But like that's the only kind of occurrence I have. But I definitely think that there's,
they're visiting us?
I think they're visiting us. I think that they're visiting us. I think there's a whole, like, I think that there's different races of aliens that actually can visit us too. I think there's interdimensional beings and all that. I haven't seen any of that. I've only seen the one thing I talked about. But I think that there's a lot out there that we can't, like, I mean, think about it. The human eye can only see so much of the light spectrum. You know that? Like, the light spectrum is extremely bigger than what we see, like a small fraction of actual light, like, you know, gamma rays and ultraviolet light and all these different things. We barely see any of it. So that alone tells you like there's stuff we can't see, right? So what if there's beings that's like just in a different frequency that our eyes just can't pick up a lot of times? So
that are among us?
That could be among us. You never know. I'm not saying this is necessarily what I believe.
You know, our eyes are not like cameras. Our eyes are a reflection of light. So everything we see is just a light reflecting on something that makes us see it. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I think we'd be able to see it because light would reflect off of it, unless it's some invisible shit like.
Nah, that's what I'm saying though, bro. Like
man.
our eyes can't see everything.
Yo, speaking of alien, I was looking up Anunnaki. You've heard of this?
yeah, of course.
Talk about it. My brother recently told me about this. Maybe 3 weeks ago.
Really? Oh, so you
And
brand
then-
new with this?
And then I looked it up, and I'm like, I don't know.
Right. See, I was really into this stuff years ago. I'm talking about like 15 years ago. I was all over that stuff. So
Believe it?
I mean, it's not even about believe. It's like it's basically fact, bro. Like, all right, so let me break it down for you. So like, if you go back to ancient times, the first civilization ever, you learn this in school. We learn this in geography class, or not geography. Was it? Yeah, I think geography class.
Yeah, social
Ninth grade,
studies.
social studies. Ninth grade or whatever.
The prehistoric people?
In Mesopotamia, Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which is like, current day Iran or Iraq or something like that, was the Sumerians, right? Now they were the first. So we went from basically like hunters and gatherers and like just nomadic people supposedly to like a straight up civilization that had agriculture, a government, like industry, actual form of writing, language. Like they were like an intense, complete civilization, from like hunters gatherers and villages and like teepees and huts and shit to like this city of people that just understood all types of physics and astronomy, all this stuff, like, So like they were the Sumerians, right? This is a real civilization. You can look this up. Their style of writing was cuneiform. They had like, like I said, they had government. They had, actual water systems, irrigation, agriculture, all this stuff, right? Now in their writing, which was for them, writing and language and actually writing in cuneiform was a sacred thing. It wasn't like how it is today where anybody can just pick up a pen and write. Like you were of a certain echelon in the society if you knew how to write. So they only wrote down supposedly real things that they encountered. And in their text, they talk about the Anunnaki, this race of basically, demigods or gods or whatever have you that came down from the stars to give them this knowledge and give them all this information. And so they wrote this stuff down in their sacred tablets and got into it. And they talk about how the Anunnaki was basically the founders of humanity. You know what I'm saying? The ones who actually turned us from apes to what we are today. Like they were the missing link. It was actually like in a lab, if you will, And so, I mean, if it's their recorded history, this was from thousands of years ago, but this was their recorded history. So like, it was fact to them. It wasn't like a fable or a fiction. You know what I'm saying? So can we prove it? No. Can we say that they wasn't just tripping on mushrooms? You know what I'm saying? And just made this up? Who knows? You feel me? But like at the end of the day, this was their facts. This was their encyclopedia. You know what I'm saying? This was what they wrote down. So, yeah. It gets deep.
Yeah.
It gets deep. And then even in the Bible, they talk about the Nephilim, which were I think they were giants that were also talked about in the cuneiform in these ancient texts in the Sumerians. So like it's deep, and I wish I was a little bit more brushed up on it to really give you like the real gems on it. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody out there who's listening, y'all can look up the Sumerians and look up their cuneiform tablets and the stories about the Anunnaki. But yeah, they were supposed to be giants from Nibiru, which was a planet in our solar system, supposedly. And you want to hear something funny? Star Trek, the one in the recent installments, the recent films of Star Trek with Chris Pine, in the opening sequence, they're on Planet Nibiru.
Oh shit!
And it obviously came from, these stories from the Sumerians. Like there's some credence to it, and I think that like, the powers that be that are out there, they know that there's some factual stuff behind it. You know what I'm saying? But it actually said in the opening scene, I think it was the second one out of the three. They have the three new ones that came out in the last like 10 years. It says Planet Nibiru, and they were running on the planet, and they were like running from the civilization that was on there, whatever. So yeah, man, I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know, man, but
That's
look
real
it up,
crazy.
man.
I don't know either. I looked up some,
Yeah.
and it sounded like it's possible, but it's what I don't really see or know. I don't really believe. It's hard to just say, okay, I believe it because I just watched a video on it or some, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that with the tablets and engravings and all that. I don't know.
I don't know either, bro. I mean, I'm not married to any of these ideas, really, but I definitely look at it like, you know, this was a part of their culture at that time, you know, and then we learned about them in school. You know, the ancient Sumerians was the first civilization that we have on file on record, you know, which
That's
I mean,
crazy.
that could be BS too. Who knows? But, you know,
Yeah, we don't know the shit.
we don't know.
What about the pyramids?
What about them?
What do you think? What do you think? You think they were built the way they said? Just Egyptians back then, just working?
Nah.
So what do you think it was? You think it was those people?
I don't know if it was the Anunnaki. I don't know if it was an alien race. I don't know if it was a different dimensional being that did it. There's theories about a being called Thoth, who was an Egyptian god or a demigod, I think, and they say that he created the Egyptian pyramids from like the fifth dimension and then brought it into existence here. There's some crazy theories out there.
But what do you think?
I honestly, man, I really don't know. I think that there was some type of technology that we don't have anymore, that we've lost. I think that there was some sort of a levitating technology that you could levitate these stones with the ease, like not like, oh, it takes all this extreme power to do it. Like not like they could easily levitate the stones and set them into place. And that makes it basically, I wouldn't say child's play, because obviously this is extreme technology that we don't have anymore. And if we do, they don't have it out for, you know, general consumption. But I think that there was some sort of technology like that. I think that the people that made the pyramids, people don't even understand how dynamic the pyramids of Giza really are.
That's what I'm saying.
The ones in Egypt. Like if you go into the pyramids of Giza, they point absolute north, south, east, and west at a time when supposedly nobody understood the rotation of the earth and, like, you know, the equator and like all these different things, but it points true north. The actual, I think it's either the amount of bricks used or something about the pyramids actually is the exact same number as the speed of light. Right?
Come on.
You can look all this stuff up. And then there's like so many things about the pyramids like this that I'm saying right now that like it just makes no sense whatsoever that these were just like somebody just said, oh, let's make a cool structure, and then that's it. Like, they understood the rotation. They understood the size of the earth. So the thing about the difference between mile and kilometer, right, is that if you have like X amount of kilometers to this exact amount, I don't know if it's like a million kilometers or 1,000 or whatever it is like based on the size of the earth. Whereas miles are based on the size basically of like a foot. Like, so like in this side of the world, we say you're 5'10" or whatever, right? So it's based on the man's foot, which isn't an exact measurement, and men's feet are different sizes, right? So, but kilometers are based on the actual circumference of the earth.
That sounds smarter.
It is smarter because it has an actual baseline. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like 1 meter, you have X amount of meters. I think it's like 40. I don't remember the number. I'm gonna sound stupid if I say it, but like there's a certain amount that's to the exact number, like, you know, 46,000 or 45,000 meters or whatever it is the exact circumference of the earth. Now, the exact measurement that they used to build the pyramids was based on the measurement of the earth. So like I think they were called cubits. So like every cubit, if you had this many amount of cubits, like let's say it's like 100,000 cubits is like the exact size of the earth. So like even stuff that you can't see about the pyramids, just the measurement devices they use to measure each block.
The accuracy
of it all. And then, you know, there's so much to it, man. There's so many different things to it. They align perfectly with the constellation of Orion. Why is that? There's 2 different cylindrical openings on the Great Pyramid that point directly to, I think, Sirius, the constellation of Sirius, and the constellation of I think it's Pleiades. I could be wrong. all this stuff is things that I was into 15 years ago. So like, you know, trying to remember everything is like, you know, it's a little bit foggy for me because I haven't been into that stuff lately. But like, yo, man, there's actually a dope documentary. Anybody who's into the pyramids and stuff like that, watch it. It's called The Revelation of the Pyramids. It's like a 2 or 3 hour documentary. And it'll blow your mind with all the information.
I don't know much. I'm down.
That
I
watch
don't know
it
much
one
about
day.
them.
I'm telling you, listen.
I just know
and watch that shit, bro. Yo, bro, this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like they have so much information in there.
I just know that it just doesn't seem like the if technology is where it's at today, back then, how could they build that?
Right.
Like it took so long to get to where we are now, and that's even hard to make.
Yo, bro, they have videos of like. What people don't understand about the pyramids is that we can't do it today. When I say that, like we don't have machines strong enough to pick up those blocks and set them in place. Like not even like the top row. Like we can't even get one block up on a crane and move it the right way to set it. Like that's how advanced whatever the hell they use.
That's what
I'm
saying.
We the huge. I mean, some people don't understand the size of the machines that we use in construction on these huge projects. And like these machines can't even handle those blocks. So like we are still in infant stages compared to whatever technology they use. So to think that they just use a bunch of guys pulling bricks, like I think that
rolling them on logs,
rolling them on logs, and like it just doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? You have to
How you stacking it?
They said that in order to do it, they said that it was built in 26 years or something like that. So it's a cut and quarry that because you have to, they didn't get that the limestone from that area. They brought it from like 100 miles away or some crazy shit like that. So like to be able to cut that limestone and then bring it to that location, they'd have to do, I think it was like some stupid like one brick every like 1.5 minutes to cut, quarry and place it. If they did it in 26 years, because there's so many blocks in the Grand Pyramid. So like in the Great Pyramid. So we obviously don't know how they were built. Like they like mainstream, you know, our common knowledge today, they just don't understand it. How do you think it was done? Like what do you think?
I literally have no idea.
Yeah.
I used to believe what they taught me in school. They were rolled on logs.
Yeah.
And teamwork.
Right.
And Egyptians just pushing logs down the sand and then building. Like they literally painted that picture in the book.
Right. That's what it looked like in the book. But
so now that I'm older and I'm starting to realize a lot of the truth that was taken away from us. It's like how that one stands out. How the hell?
Yeah.
That one stands out crazy.
Doesn't make any sense. That's definitely one of the big mysteries of the world. But like, and it's crazy because it's a construction of something that we can't even do today. You know,
it doesn't make sense.
Nah,
that's the only one that really sticks out to me. Like, yeah, I understand government manipulation, you know, books being rewritten, blah blah blah. But the pyramids,
right?
That's something you can't manipulate.
Right. It
is what it is, and they created this story around it. Oh yeah, just humans made it.
Yeah, and they have chambers inside, right? They have certain like if you go in, I've never been out
the mummies are inside supposedly, right?
Well, no, so that's the thing is that they never, from what I understand, they never actually. Was it? I don't know. But my point that I was going to was that if you put framing squares, like a framing square holds perfect 90 degree angles. So if you put a framing square up into the corners of these tombs or whatever, we don't know if they're tombs or not, but like these chambers, it's perfect 90 degree angles on every corner, right? And we're talking about from thousands of years ago. So that means that this thing is earthquake proof. Like it's like the any time that the earth shook in any kind of way, these things still held there. And to get perfect 90 degree angles, also here's another thing: you need to understand Pythagorean theorem. Now here's the tricky part about that. Pythagoras was a Greek. Pythagoras, who that's what we name, you know, Pythagorean theorem after, was from thousands of years after the pyramids was made. So it's like this so-called mathematical equation that we understand, 2, 3, 4, 5, or is it 3, 4, 5? And anybody who knows construction knows 3, 4, 5. This is from thousands of years. It was coined thousands of years after the pyramids, but you can't make that without knowing that mathematical equation, right? You can't make perfect squares without knowing 3, 4, 5. And all that is just understanding how to like measure out dimensions so that you get a perfect square if you don't have a framing square that's been cut by a machine to give you a perfect 90-degree angle. So in other words, all I'm saying is that like this is information, knowledge that was around before these new, before the Greeks knew it or whatever, but they still get the credit for it to this day in the history books.
What if this is what it was? There was another civilization before the Egyptians.
Right.
They built that.
Right.
They had their own technology,
Definitely.
whatever the hell. They were different species, maybe.
Definitely.
These, the Egyptians came in, pharaohs and whoever, and then they just started doing their graffiti. That's why we have the graffiti now.
Right.
Makes kind of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Egyptians would hate you for it. Modern day Egyptians would hate you for it because that's their claim to fame, that they were this
no offense,
but yeah, that's definitely a possibility. That's definitely a possibility. Something that could have happened.
If humans can't make that today, especially back then, sorry.
Yeah.
It ain't it.
I don't know, bro. I don't know who.
We'll never know.
I know whatever it is. I hopefully one day in my life I get a chance to see it in person.
Yeah, definitely.
The Sphinx and all of that.
Throw it on your bucket list.
All right. The Sphinx is even more. I wouldn't say more mysterious, but it's mysterious too because they're finding out all the time. Like every 5 or 10 years, they're realizing, oh, this thing is older than we thought by thousands of years. And the documentary that I seen, the revelation of the pyramids that I talked about, I think they touched on the Sphinx in it, and they say that the Sphinx was built in 36,000 BC. Whereas right now they think that it's like 10,000 BC that it was built. But they say that the Sphinx, the only time the Sphinx was looking at the constellation Leo at the perfect horizon was 36,000 BC. Like there's a few different, like coordinate things that line up perfect for 36,000 BC. That's when it was built. So they say that that's when it was really made. In that documentary, they break it down further than that. It's not just when they was looking at Leo, but there's a couple different things about it. So that the Sphinx is older than the pyramids. We all know that, but it's like how old? I think it's a lot older than the pyramids. It's crazy stuff, man.
That's insane.
Have you ever seen the bricks, like the actual stones of like certain halls and like that's some of them are in Egypt, some of them are in I think Peru, and some of them are in Mexico. And they have these stones that create these walls, right? And the stones will be the same size as these pyramids. They'll be, 100 tons, 200 tons, huge stones. But they will be stones that are like almost like puzzle pieces put together, but they're stone. So it's like, and there's no mortar, there's no brick, there's no mortar, there's no glue, there's nothing that keeps these stones together. But to this day, they don't, the walls are perfectly sound. They're earthquake proof, they're weatherproof, everything. They just stay up and they're like constructed together. You got to see these
like that, like the Aztec ruins.
Something like that, but
right?
the stones themselves, and they're starting to trend a little bit more now. Like the pictures are starting to come back up again. I'll show you, and it's real. Like you can go to these sites and see, but they're all constructed in a similar way from different corners of the world back in ancient and antiquity, in ancient times. So, like, first of all, how did they all know how to construct these like this? We don't know how they did it.
There's no communication.
There's no communication between these different civilizations.
They didn't hop on AOL.
We don't know how to do this today. But they were doing it back then in different places of the world. So it's like obviously either one group of people or person was going around teaching everybody, or they were all interconnected and they all knew this knowledge that we don't know today. It's crazy shit, bro. It's really, when you start going down that rabbit hole, it starts getting weirder and weirder. I'm going to show you.
We don't know.
Yeah.
This has been Talks About It with Franjez.
Yes,
I don't know how long it's been because I don't know how to read this code. Thank you for watching. Ronnie Notes.
Yes, indeed.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Nah, for real, I really don't know how to even tell how long it's been.
Click on it.